しのさん、ちょっといいですか？
Aoi calls for Shino after dinner just as she's finished with the dishes.
何かしら？
これ、今までごちそうになった分の食費です。
I don't think you need to pay her. She takes out an envelope.
いらないって言っても無駄なのよね。
もう私の親からも話が言ってると思います。
そうね。それじゃあいただくわ。
Shino takes the envelope with a frown.
ご迷惑かもしれませんけど、これからもよろしくお願いします。
迷惑なんて何もないのよ。鈴葉ちゃんが嫌になるまで食べに来ていいんだから。ちなみも鈴葉ちゃんとずっと一緒に食べたいよ。だからこちらこそよろしくね。
はい、ありがとうございます。
葵ちゃんもずっと一緒だからね。
死ねばいいのに。そんなこと言っちゃダメだよ、お姉ちゃん。
いすずちゃんも嫌になるまで来ていいのよ。
鈴葉がお邪魔してる限り、私も同行しますから。
ちなみたちはもう家族になったってことだね。
死ねばいいのに。そんなこと言っちゃダメだよ、お姉ちゃん。
I think this is my chance. We have to go to Hibariko for our stakeout after this. I should take this perfect opportunity. Since Aoi just paid the food expenses, I should be paying too. I have the money from last month's work at hand. It's not much, but I'll just pay it off later. What's more important than the amount is Shino actually accepting it. She's against me working. If I gave it to her normally, she'd refuse. However, Aoi created this opening. If I took it out using this opportunity, Shino would have a hard time refusing. It's now or never. If there's a first time, there'll easily be a second and a third. There's no better occasion to show her my gratitude. Shino-san. I draw her attention. She looks at me. She looks at me calmly with her warmth-filled expression, covered with kindness. And for a moment, so abruptly, pain, with the ensuing regret.
だってシノは子供を産めない体だから。
何？ようちゃん？
I continue hesitantly. There's no going back now. I also want to... I'll hurt her if I finish off the sentence. I have realized. Finally. Why didn't I realize sooner? Pay for the food. So...
それでバイトをしていたのね。
Shino looks at me quietly. I can see her gentleness. However, that's all a facade. No one says a word. They've probably noticed. The fact that my words have torn something apart.
私のためにバイトをしていたのね。
I've torn something within Shino.
私のせいで負担をかけてしまったのね。
Why didn't I think it through? Maybe I can't see anything apart from myself. Maybe I didn't consider Shino.
私は頼りにならないかしら。家族としてあなたの頼りにはならないのかしら。
Our family consisted of 3. It's been 3 for as long as I can remember. Kogasaka Chinami, my sister who is a year younger. Kogasaka Kasumi, the name of our mom. So her name is Kasumi, or was Kasumi. Mom was living in this house when I was born. My grandparents, Mom and Shino, the 4 of us lived together. My grandfather has passed away due to illness and my grandmother lives with relatives. Shino is busy and doesn't have time to take care of her. Shino insisted that she could manage, but my grandmother left the house of her own accord. Just like Mom did, though for a different reason. Mom left the house as soon as she got pregnant with Chinami, and started living in an apartment with me still as a baby. It's not hard to imagine her hard life, being pregnant while taking care of me. Of course, working was out of the question. She somehow managed to take care of the living expenses, but was unable to take care of me around the time she was going to give birth. I heard that Shino was the one who helped Mom. My grandparents and relatives rejected Mom, who had left home, but apparently Shino helped in secret. That's right. Onshino was Mom's only ally during her time of need.
姉さんから聞いていたの。あなたは甘えない子供だって。お小遣いをねだったこともない。わがままを言って困らせることもない。親子喧嘩をしたことすらない。それは多分自分が頼りないからかもしれないって姉さんから聞いたことがあったの。私はその時こう答えたわ。ようちゃんは優しい子だから仕事や家事で忙しい姉さんを助けたいだけだって。姉さんの負担を軽くしてあげたいだけだって。そう、私は軽い気持ちで言ってしまった。子供を持たない私だから理屈だけでそう答えてしまった。だけど
She keeps her eyes on me. They're filled with affection. It's like I'm being overwhelmed. I can't look her in the eye.
今ならわかるの。姉さんの気持ちがわかるの。理屈じゃない。親としての気持ちというものが私も少しはわかるようになったの。
Onshino's hurt, wounded by a bad child.
違うのよ。責めているんじゃないのよ。だってあなたは悪くない。何も悪くないのよ。
Onshino is smiling. She's smiling as if she's
だ
apologizing.
ってようちゃんはとっても優秀なんだから。
Her words feel like ice, waking me up to my wrongs.
あなたは姉さんの自慢の息子なんだから。
I didn't give her the food expenses. Not because I decided not to, but because we had to get going. Aoi told us she wouldn't be attending, and Suzuha had to obey. They probably thought they should stay behind for Onshino. They've done the right thing. Chinami would probably stay back had they didn't. Either way, staying back wasn't an option for me. The atmosphere is too tense, filled with an anxiety. I head to school despite knowing that I should have talked more with her. This is definitely running away.
お兄ちゃん
Chinami speaks up using an unusually docile voice, unlike her usual loudness.
シノさんが言った通りお兄ちゃんは悪くないよ。
I don't reply. Chinami's quietness stops there.
だから元気出しなよ。お兄ちゃんの代わりにちなみがバイトするからね。ちなみはあくまで誰のためでもなく自分のためだけにお金稼ぐからね。
You've got good intentions, Chinami.
なのにグリグリするのはデフォルトなのお兄ちゃん。
Let's hurry, we'll be late. Chinami replies with a smile. Silence ensues. She doesn't say anything. Chinami clings onto me with a smile. No one was at the school gates, perhaps because it was past the meeting time. Did they start without us?
静かだね。
Yeah.
いかにも宇宙人が出そうな雰囲気だね。
A ghost is more likely to appear.
オカルト部長とアスオ先輩、もう校舎の中かな。
Maybe. Let's catch up to them. I should have sent them a message earlier, but I didn't. The last thing I want to do is stay still. I didn't want them telling me to wait as they came back to fetch us. I head inside the school building with Chinami following along. We advance cautiously to cover our footsteps. No sign of anyone. However, we can't see much, so we can't confirm whether they're on the ground floor or not. I know it's obvious, but keep it down.
わかってるよ。ちなみはすっかりベテラン肝試し人になったからね。
What does Chinami think? What does she think about my job? Has she figured out that I hurt Onshino? In that case, she wouldn't work together with me. We might be the same. No, our reasons are different. Chinami is different from me. Our reasons for working are different. Chinami works for herself. I work for Onshino. The difference alone might be the answer.
誰もいないみたいだね。
We arrived at the end of the corridor. The place the rumor was referring to was the multimedia room on the first floor. It's hard to accept this as a member of the Tenkuru. It'll be over if we catch the people in question. If it's a star god, as Mayaka suggested, then it'll be more surprising than any ghost or alien.
それじゃ2階にレッツゴー。
The least you could do as a veteran was keep your voice down. My phone vibrates when we arrive on the first floor. A message from Asuho. The two saw two figures that looked like security guards while they were waiting for us, so they ran off to the lookout. They're currently waiting in front of the school gates. There you have it. Let's go back, Chinami. Chinami? Chinami is looking down the corridor. The music room lies at the end, and just before it is the Tenkuru's club room. Chinami walks forward unsteadily. Hey, Chinami.
お父さん
What? She's mumbling something absent-mindedly. I hold Chinami back immediately.
あれ
She looks around restlessly. What's wrong? She speaks with her head down.
今聞こえたの。聞こえた気がしたの。オルゴールの音、お兄ちゃんと一緒に作ったオルゴールの音色。
Chinami surveys her surroundings once more. Starlight coming from the windows runs along the corridor. I don't hear anything. Chinami shakes her head.
ちゃんと聞こえた。さっき聞こえたの。間違えるはずない。だってちなみは毎日聞いてるから。
Chinami has gotten all quiet. The nuclear warhead aura has disappeared. I squint and look down the dim corridor. You said you hear the music box? And it's the same melody as the one in your room? We don't know the title of that piece. It wasn't written on the original score, for the song isn't all that well known. It's composed by Chinami's late father. You're saying it as if it's only Chinami's father, but not yours. Why is that? You are absolutely certain? In that case, let's go. Chinami blinks incessantly in gratitude. Let's take a look in the club room. It won't take long if we're just checking. I don't want to keep the other two waiting. You might be able to meet these ghosts you love so much.
ちなみが好きなのは宇宙人だよ。
Really now? I flick her on the forehead. If this song, which shouldn't be known by anyone else, is being played by a different music box, that would mean the music box in question would have been made by the ghost of Chinami's father. We confirm light leaking out of the club room as we walk closer.
大変です大変です
What?
大変そうに聞こえないがどうした？
なんと
Hey,
人
it's
がこちらに
Ren!
向かっています
またか。
And who's
一
this
昨日と
guy?
昨日もそうだったが、
オルゴールを鳴らしたのが間違いだったのでは
確認しないと直せないだろうが。
修理は終わったんですか
あと少しだ。曲はもう鳴るけどな。
残りの作業は中断した方が良さそうです
またあいつらなのか。
なんとそうです
すぐ片付けに入る。
やっぱり会いたくないんですね
そうだ。
あの子たちがこの学校に通っているなら時間の問題なのに
それでもだ。悪いか？
悪くないですクスクス
その笑いはやめろ。
ダメ人間クスクス
言ってろ。とにかくすぐ逃げるぞ。
逃げるくらいなら最初から部室で作業なんてしなければいいのに
知ってるだろ。俺の家は散らかってるんだ。スペースがないんだよ。
ダメ人間クスクス
いいから俺が見つからないようにサポート頼むぞ。
わかりました相手をびっくりさせますからその間に逃げてください
片付け終わったから電気消すぞ。
待ってくださいその前にそのオルゴールを貸してください
どうするんだ？
相手をびっくりさせるのに使うんですそれだけじゃない君との約束を果たすために使いたいんです。
また
Chinami was right. A nostalgic melody is playing. Chinami's music box. We made it together for an assignment during the summer holidays of the year we moved out from Hibarigasaki. This tone, this melody, there's no doubt. The gift Chinami's dad gave his own daughter. Chinami starts running. I follow her without bothering to hold her back. The light in the club room is now off. However, the music box continues to play. someone is there. Or something.
お父さん
Chinami shouts
教え
out.
てよお父さん
Chinami grabs onto the doorknob.
ちなみは
She throws open the door.
ちなみはいらない子供だったのそれが君の枷ですね
A little girl is standing there.
それが君の悪夢ですね
Inside the room devoid of light, I can hear the sorrowful tune of the music box.
それが君の祭ろわぬものですね
A girl who appears out of place holding a scythe, her faint voice.
それ私が送り返してあげます
Chinami stands there motionless, just like back then.
君を苦しめているのなら私が送り返してあげます
Chinami speaks while frozen.
妖精さん
So then really is the fairy Chinami was talking about. That was all.
私が君を苦しめる君を送り返してあげます
The scythe plunges down. The edge of the blade cuts through Chinami's chest. Something inside Chinami, just like when Mary did it to me. It's happening right in front of my eyes. Chinami's body falls backwards. I catch her before she collapses. Her eyes are closed. She appears to be unconscious, as if she's asleep. I stare at the girl standing before Chinami. Starlight falls dimly on her young appearance.
私は見守るものですが必要な場合には助けになってほしいそう言われていますからそう約束を交わしていますからいつかこうなることは知っていましたからですから約束を果たしました
She's about to leave. I just know it. She's going to vanish just like Mary does. Now is not the time to panic. Getting that into my head, I gradually regain my composure. My voice is working normally. Don't go just yet. What did you do just then?
ちなみさんの傘を断ちました
A reply. I can still see her.
展望台の死神の言葉を借りるなら悪夢を買ったということ聖天宮の言葉を借りるなら祭ろわぬものを繰り返したということ私自身の言葉を使うなら恋を裂いたということ
Tore apart her love? I absorb every single word of hers. Tackling and seizing her wouldn't achieve anything.
君にとっての悪夢が思い出だったのと同様君にとっての祭ろわぬものが展望台の彼女だったのと同様ちなみさんにとっての自分の枷となる存在がちなみさん自身だった
Her figure dissolves into the starlight. I see. So this girl reaped Chinami. I take a look at Chinami and call out to her. I shake her by the shoulders. No response, her eyes remain closed. I can confirm her breathing. However, her consciousness doesn't return. A rehash of what happened at the lookout. She's sleeping just like that time. I want to believe. Chinami is still with me. I can only believe. I leave the school building with Chinami on my back. I meet up with Asuho and Asuka by the school gates. The two get surprised by Chinami on my back. I told them that she's simply exhausted. The stakeout is put on hold. My thoughts are getting lighter. It feels as if time has slowed down. I say goodbye to the other two in front of my house. After returning home, I carry Chinami to her room. Unsurprisingly, Chinami looks asleep as she lies in bed.
ようちゃん今お医者様に連絡したわ
Sorry.
謝らなくていいのよそれにお礼もいらない今度だってようちゃんのせいじゃないんでしょ
I'm unable to answer. That girl was the cause. But if what she said was true and Chinami's nightmare is indeed herself,
ちなみちゃんの様子はどう
Onshino takes a look at Chinami's face. I think she's just asleep. I try to consolidate her.
だったら心配いらないわ。明日になれば元気なちなみちゃんに会えるから。
After the doctor, Hisakaki's dad, arrives, we have him take a look at Chinami's condition. There was no mark on the nape of her neck this time. Thus, he wasn't able to make any conclusions and speculated that she was just asleep. He said he'll give a more detailed examination at the hospital tomorrow, similar to last time. However, one thing's different. Even if I want to believe she's merely asleep, my heart tells me otherwise. She might not wake up. Chinami's here. Yet, she might not be.
ようちゃん、
Onshino checks up on me late at night while I'm by Chinami's side.
ようちゃんはまだ寝ないの？
I nod with my eyes still on Chinami.
ちなみちゃんは大丈夫よ。明日になれば。
There's no guarantee. It's like I'm taking it out on Onshino. Regret.
保証ならできるわ。
And she replies as such. Huh?
保証できると言ったのよ。私が保証するわ。
I hold back my urge to ask her why.
だからあなたは安心していいのよ。今ならわかるの。姉さんの気持ちがわかるの。理屈じゃない。親としての気持ちというものが私も少しはわかるようになったの。保証なんてものは子供じゃない。親がすることだと思うから。家族がすることだと思うから。
Her desolate expression.
私は夜中まで仕事をしていることが多いから朝に寝ることも多いからだからね。徹夜にだって慣れているのよ。
Shino-san. I turn towards Onshino. However, my gaze falls short of hers. Shino-san, I see you as family. But I honestly haven't a clue how to act spoiled.
いいのよ。言ったでしょ。あなたは悪くないのよ。それに私たちにはまだたくさん時間があるじゃない。もっと一緒にお話できる。もっと一緒にご飯が食べられる。悲しむことも笑うことも一緒にできる。一緒にお風呂だって入れるのよ。
No, I think that's too much even for a family.
あらあら。
She's smiling at me.
そんなたくさんの時の中で一緒に家族を作っていきたいって思うのよ。あなたとちなみちゃんとみんなで。私は昔からよく夢見がちって言われていたけれど、これもちょっと綺麗すぎるかしら。
I don't know. Onshino is smiling. Can I smile too? But I think it's great. It's perfect for our amateur family.
ちなみちゃんの看病変わってくれる？
Okay. I stand up and speak while facing her directly. I wouldn't be changing shifts if it wasn't with you, Shino-san. And thus I saw a dream. After turning off the lights and getting into bed, I fell asleep instantly, perhaps more tired than I thought I was. I can leave Chinami to Onshino. Maybe the sense of relief played a big part of it. The dream was of family. We moved to the city in July when I was little, and I returned to this town also in July. I remember the summer holidays being just as busy. The holidays came before I had a chance to get used to the new school. Being distant from others at the time, I didn't have any friends. And this applied to Chinami too. Chinami may be a genius at making friends, although I don't know if she knows this herself, but she was nothing like that when she was little. She was introverted like Suzuha. The reason Chinami pays so much attention to Suzuha may be because she reminds her of herself in the past. Although her ability to create disasters when she helps out with the housework is the same as before. It was a relief in a way after she entered her rebellious age, as she refused to do any chores. If I recall correctly, it started happening after that one summer holidays in the city. She started working on a music box for assignment. Without any friends, Chinami needed something to keep her occupied. Maybe that's what Mom thought. She gave Chinami a music score. Why don't you try making a music box with this melody? Mom was going to help out, but at the height of her rebellious age, Chinami insisted that she could do it herself. The reason she accepted the task was because Mom told her it was her dad's composition. After receiving her own create-your-own music box kit, she confined herself in her room and engrossed herself in work. It seemed like a tough time. Chinami was always clumsy, to the point where she would repeatedly make housework blunders. She secluded herself in her own room and wouldn't come out. We only saw her during meals. Just when will she finish? Not knowing her progress, I entered her room without permission. Chinami was surprised when I came. Surprised and angry. Get out! No, I won't. Why should I? Shut up! I hate you, Ni-chan. I also wanted to tell her I hated her, but I told her I loved her instead. Chinami couldn't find anything to retaliate with. We both went quiet afterwards. I helped Chinami out as we worked in silence. And thus we managed to complete the music box that plays the piece that Chinami's dad had left. Why was Chinami entranced by the music box? Because it reminded her of her dad? That's not all there is to it. Apparently her dad had been interested in music since primary. He had a strong piano background from when he was little. He went out with Mom. They went out during their time at Hibariko and broke up after graduation. I hear that my dad, Mishima Taiga, got together with Mom afterwards. Oh, so Yo and Chinami don't have the same father. So they're half siblings, huh? After giving birth to me, Mom left Dad and started going out with Chinami's dad again. I don't know the details either. There was less than a 2-year gap between their daughter Chinami and me. Chinami and I are half siblings. It's not something looked highly of in society. Really? Mom received a lot of criticism from her parents and relatives. That's why she left. With Chinami and me, she decided to raise us herself. Around this time, Chinami's dad died. His death was planned for. Their fate was already locked in when the two were dating in school. How's that? Chinami didn't visit her dad's grave. She probably doesn't like him very much. At the same time, she was crushing Mom's feelings. Mom loved Chinami's dad, and how carefully she held onto his scores is proof of that. Isn't that why Chinami wanted to start loving him just like Mom did? The homemade music box embodies her efforts. The summer holidays finish and Chinami brings the music box to school. After receiving lots of praise from the teacher, Chinami changed. Her rebellious age ended, and the Chinami who was capable of making 100 friends was born. Does that mean Chinami matured? Was she able to make friends because her rebelliousness stopped? And why did she become rebellious in the first place? Despite her rebellious age being over, why does she still refuse to visit his grave? Ever since Mom's death and our return to Hibarigasaki, Chinami's been insistent on taking care of me. Why? Furthermore,
ちなみはいらない子供だったの
might just be related. Everything is connected by a thin thread. You arrive at the truth if you follow it. I see it. Is that so, Chinami? But Chinami, I'm happy regardless of whether I can understand what you're really thinking. Always by my side. I'm truly happy. I've been saved by your enthusiasm a countless number of times. That's why I swore. Chinami cried after we finished building the music box together. Those weren't tears of joy. Even I knew that back then. That's why I swore. I swore not to make her cry. I swore never to make you cry again.